All right, Robert Phoenix here. We're back for another edition of the Astro Weather. What's happening, everybody? I got the Astro Weather cat right there. Hey, Miss Peaches. Hi, Miss Peaches. Peachy Weechy. There she is. We've got this routine in the morning. It's very Skinner-esque. The routine is I feed her, she poops, and then she runs into the studio room so she can get her pets. Isn't that right? That's how it goes. Some lives are just so simple. That's all it takes for this little creature, this little killer, this roach killer, to be happy. Food, poop, and pets. Don't you wish your life was so simple? It's like, you have your morning breakfast, you go to the bathroom, you come out, and there's a person in your house just waiting to pet you. Oh, it's so good. So good to see you this morning. Let me rub your shoulders. Anyway, man, no pets for me. Hey, it's all right. I could turn this into a much more R-rated form of gratification if you want, but we'll skip that for now. It's a little early. All right, let's see. Let's do a little roll call here. Michael Sisternino. Have a time. Misbehaving too. California Contrarian. The new next. Great thumbnail. AI is no bull these days, right? It's so beautiful. It's like I ran out of cows. I could create any cow situation in the world. I could put a cow in the North Pole if I wanted to. I could put cows on the South Pole if I wanted to. I could put the cows on the South Pole sunrise. AI does not limit me in terms of what kind of cow situation I want to have there. I got no problema with it. No problema. No problema. Hold on a second here. Let me get my wiring. Have you guys seen David's thumbnails with AI? He's getting really good. He's getting really, really good. Let's see who else we have. The new next beautiful sunny day in Oklahoma. Barbara Moo. They got rain forecast there. Barbara sent me a picture of Inky with the ribbon. He was a good boy. Diane Evans, greetings. Had a birthday Friday with my big family reunion in Boise. My Mother's Day, Mom turns 92. Wow. Man, you got to savor those times. When you have those moments, you just savor those moments. Because we all know that this experience goes with the blink of an eye. And it really does. Speaking of Oklahoma, there's Janice Phillips. Devin Dewar, Double D, she's with us. Road trip 1981. Yeah, it's going to be hot. We're going to hit the triples. We got the triples coming at us. We got a stretch of triples. All you people in Texas, stay hydrated. I want to send some courage and love to those who are struggling at this time. We're not in chat and have guidance like we. Well, there you go. Let's throw that out there. We're all in support of our fellow bipeds who are struggling. That's right. Absolutely. Love, courage, and wisdom to all. Let's see. Noel White. Hi, Noel. Yeah, good. Good. Meow kitty. Whoa. What? Meow kitty poop is here. Must have heard me say that because that's kind of what you do. Orlando. The great Orlando. Let's see. Mary Grether. Hey, Mary. Good to see you. Melissa Stanton. Florida. Neil Smith. Our man from Wisconsin. Big Dave Sullivan's here. Let's see what else we have. Liddy Lou. Lena Winkler. There's our guy Thor at the door. Tom Jordan's in the house. Josie's Jazzy Junk. PMS Odette. Janine. Nicole DePaulo. Esperanza. Vince Taro. Dan Wolf Resistance 13. I haven't even banned yet. I'll fix that. Yeah, man. We got a pretty wide runway. Try saying that. You've just woken up. Moria NYC, she's here. Lisa Ann White. You got banned on X. I didn't. I had nothing to do with that. I don't ban. I have no power on X, except the power of my thoughts. Laura E. got some sunshine in Vermont. You just got back from the grocery store. That sounds lovely. I'm imagining a country grocery store in Vermont where the checkers have worked there for 15 years and they know your name. That's what I'm imagining. And they have a deli that makes sandwiches. Remember the delis that made sandwiches? The good old days? What would you like? Would you like that on Dutch Crunch? Let's see. Who else do we have here? Carol Moore. May is such a great month. I like May. May is a good month. I'm into May for sure. Let's see. The Jay. Hey, Jay. Good to see you. The thumbnail describes my bar as a Taurus. Once things get moving, get the hell out of the way. Hey, look, when it comes to bull and human interactions, I'm always pro bull. I'm always pro bull. Like, you go bull. Go get him, bull. Go get him. I am one of the, whenever at the bull ring, whenever the bull jumps out of the ring and into the stands, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm always rooting for the damn bull. Let's see. Looks like all the fun is on X now. Have to see what all the fuss is about. It's a good place to get news, believe it or not. And it's not as a lot of the libs have left. They've split. They're over on Blue Sky. Remember their circle jerk. They circle jerk on Blue Sky. Let's see. You're ready for Gemini season, Janice. There you go. Hammer time. Exactly how I feel. There she is, the lovely and talented one. The lovely and talented one, saving awesome one tooth at a time. Michelle Renee, Maya Rose, hanging laundry. Wow, wow, wow. Brandy Herrera, she's back with us. The idea of running with likely AJ Bulls is not appealing to me. It's just weird. Actually, I think it's gay. I really do. I think it's kind of gay. All the men sit around and they drink afterwards. Oh, do you see how close? Do you see how close it got to me? I had to dive at the last second. Oh my God! I think this is the one time I saw my life flash before my very eyes. And they all wear little sashes, little red sashes. Okay. Let's see. Who else we have? Alaska Raven, Kelly B, Cecilia Aphrodite. Buongiorno. Love getting a kitty fix for Peachy. Peachy is adorable, but she is a recluse around the house. Joan did not go eating and pooping. Eating and pooping. Eating and pooping is a good thing. Some people have a hard time occasionally with both. Maybe not simultaneously, but they can be an issue. Does each day bring goosebumps to your skin? Yeah, look at that. That's the way to live. Pets do love their routines. Here we go. Locals. Let's see. I'd like to be leave alone, please. And you know what? It's a free will universe. Let's see. For the most part. For the most part. Wild Tomcat here wants pets more than food sometimes. How about that? Yes, you want a reading? That's the place to go. That's right. Melissa Urban. One of my cats gets the poop. Both of these guys here, man, they're just like so happy. They're so happy. Good morning. It's Poop Talk with Robert Phoenix. Do you think somebody has a YouTube channel called Poop Talk? I wonder if there could be some like strange way to penetrate the algorithm with Poop Talk and just talk about nothing but poop. And through sort of this cross-cultural examination of poop, with a lot of scatological humor. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Julia Payne from New Zealand, Dark Sky. It's got even cow pies too. Cow pies. And cow pies. Everything about cows is perfect. Let's see. Who else do we have? Boredom is not something that cats likely ever experience. No, if they're bored, they just sleep. And when they sleep, they dream. Let's see. I don't like people who would love the life of a house cat. I don't know. It's a pretty simple life. Pretty simple life. Let's see what else we have here. Nyla. Hi, Nyla. I like Nyla's thumbnail. Is that Malinois? Is that Malinois, Nyla? Let's see. Who else do we have here? Matt Burns. What's going on, Matt? Dead Wolf Resistance burning Bible pages out of my wood stove pipe. Well, when you're done with that, you can then move on to the Quran. And then after that, you can start doing the Torah. Why stop at the Bible? There's plenty of holy books out there. Soul Traveler. Hey, look who's here. JJ. JJ. Let's see. Brian Scott from North Carolina. Oh, I've done a lot of I have done a lot on Kanye. I've devoted hours to Kanye West. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I got plenty of Kanye shows. Go through my lives. You'll see at least 3 or 4 with Kanye popping up. Jen Adams from the Wick. BK. What's up, Jen? Good to see you. Man, we got a good crowd here today. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Did y'all discuss the earthquake on Sunday night? No. We were talking about Pakistan and India. You flunked the test. Let's see who else. Huge. Back at you, Orlando. Okay. Kanye is in quite a moment. Kanye, listen, Kanye's a trip, man. He's a trip. There is nobody on this planet like Kanye West. And he has made sure of that. He has absolutely made sure of that. Kanye got my attention a long time ago when he was, when I first saw him on the Dave Chappelle show. I think he was doing some kind of a rap with this guy Common, because they're both from Chicago. Like Kanye's from Chicago. At least he kind of came up through Chicago, through the Chicago hip hop scene. And I thought to myself, who is this guy? I said, and at that time there was this kind of interesting bubbling up of what we call underground hip hop. It was also called backpacker hip hop. It was or conscious hip hop, right? There was this whole stream of it was kind of interesting, like way more interesting than what they do now. And I thought Kanye West is going to be this guy who's going to be a bridge between underground hip hop and mainstream hip hop, and he was, and he blew up on mainstream hip hop, and he has this tour with Jay-Z where it's complete and utter darkness. It's like the person who did the stage, like craft, lighting, and everything for those two guys was involved with the Olympics in England in 2012, and we know that there was some really dark stagecraft going on there. So their show was all about like Saturn cubes, and like it was really sort of the height of Kanye West's darkness, and even like doing this thing with Jay-Z, and they're opposite signs. So Jay-Z's a Sag, and then of course Kanye is a Gemini. And then he comes off that, and then he goes into a world tour on his own. And this is in 2016 as Trump is running for president. And it's the famous concert date in Sacramento where he stops the concert and he goes political and he starts talking shit about Hillary Clinton. And the crowd at first thinks it's kind of cool, but then they start to lose their shit, right? Because they just want him to shut up and rap. Just shut up and rap, motherfucker. And he goes off the rails and he starts talking about evil. Oh, before that, there's the hurricane, Katrina moment with him and Mike Myers, and just a kind of autistic, awkward moment. George Bush hates black people, right? It's like, what the fuck? That was the precursor moment. Katrina was when Kanye kind of takes the mask off for the first time. It's like, whoa. And he does it really awkwardly, and Mike Myers doesn't know what the fuck to do. You guys remember that? But then he has this meltdown in Sacramento, and then he's literally snatched away by his handler, this guy Harley Pasternak, and gives him like 6 or 7 sedatives and puts him in Cedars-Sinai for like 2 or 3 weeks. And when he comes out, he's a zombie. He's totally glazed. They've dyed his hair blonde, which is an MK Ultra signature. And he wanders into Trump Tower to talk to Trump. And that's it, man. I mean, after that moment, once he recovers, Kanye is deciding that he's going to just start pulling out the planks of the politically correct system. And with one group in particular, and he loses everything. The guy loses everything. He loses all of his contracts, right? Balenciaga, Adidas, every single contract he loses. He loses like certain custody rights with his kids. I mean, he basically is crucified in the world because he has this take, which is like unrelentless. Now, Kanye, even though he's a Gemini, he's got 3 planets in Taurus. He's got Mercury in Taurus, so he's stubborn. Like nobody's going to tell him what to do or say. And he has this Venus-Mars conjunction in Taurus, which is like that weird sort of masculine, feminine thing. And what was it? About a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, he's talking about, how he, went oral on his cousin, and how they looked at Playboys. Like the guy is so fucking transparent. Like there's nothing that they have on him except maybe what I would consider to be the sacrifice of his mother, and how much he was involved with that, I'm not even really sure. But he's been like incredibly transparent. So there's nothing left to like find on him, right? He's admitted to all these things. He's done all of these. Like it's this incredibly fascinating exercise in complete exposure and transparency, which makes him incredibly vulnerable, but also at the same time gives him this power to do whatever the fuck he wants. Like apparently Spotify can't get his song off of Spotify, and it's become really popular in Germany. Like Kanye West is stirring the pot, and you may think he's crazy and insane, and he might be. He certainly might be, but at the same time, he is making a dent. He's definitely making a dent in the social consciousness. So Kanye's a trip, man. I'd love to interview him. I actually really like eccentric people. I've always had a fascination and a soft spot in my heart for eccentric people, because I think they're really interesting. Hold on. Let's try this again. I tell you, man, StreamYard has gotten fucking wonky. All right, how are we looking here? There we go. It's a little small, isn't it? Jeez. How about this? There we go. We'll try this again. Let's see. Let's try it again. All right, here we go. How's it look? It's still on the small side, isn't it? Let me see. Let's try this. What's this look like now? Yeah. Yeah, that's a little better, huh? Let's do that. I can be down here in the corner. You can still see me. That's good. That's good. All right, let's go there. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, shall we? Yeah, here we go. Today is one of those days. One of those days where we got Sun and Uranus is kind of deep into the 12th house. And Jupiter is right on, at least, 8 a.m. today, right? So we have Jupiter getting ready to cycle out of Gemini. Are you guys ready for Jupiter in Cancer? Jupiter in Gemini has been fun. I like Jupiter in Gemini. I am a fan of Gemini. A lot of people, you say, oh, you hate Gemini. You always make fun. No, I don't make fun of Gemini. They're interesting people. Kanye West. And we've got through this incredibly strange time of like weird time twinning. Like it's very like this whole like echo of the Civil War. And now we have kind of a new civil war breaking out in India, Pakistan. And we even have and I'm going to talk about this on 15 Minutes of Flame, these refugee immigrants from South Africa coming to the United States. And it's the South, right? And it's the South. And they're headed north. They're going up above the equator. And it represents sort of what happens also after the Civil War in the United States, where the American Black population begins to slowly migrate from the South. And then it really happens much, much faster, as we, break past the 20th century mark and then as we go closer to like World War II, like coming out of World War I, you have these great migrations to places like Chicago and Detroit and St. Louis and Oakland and Berkeley, California, where there's work on the shipyards. And so that's another whole phase of it. The first phase is what happens after the Civil War and the trickle of the migration heading north. And what do we have heading north? We got, again, but it's all inverted, right? Because it's Gemini. It's all inverted. So instead of the American Black population migrating north, we've got the South African white population migrating north. So there's this weird inversion happening. But again, it's all under Gemini. And it's like utterly fascinating. The sun is coming right up here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this. I mean, I'm kind of, also I can see it. So the sun is coming up here on this conjunction with Uranus. And this is the last Uranian conjunction with the sun. right? In Taurus. This is it. This is the last time. So, there's going to be 7 solar conjunctions with Uranus during a Uranian cycle. This is the last one. And it's happening at the end of Taurus. And those latter degrees, 27 and 28, are wacky, crazy degrees because the energy is like all over the place before it goes dark, which is the 29th degree. So the sun's at 23. We're going to get there by Friday, Saturday. This weekend is going to be, I'm going on record. This weekend is going to be nuts. Absolutely nuts. Keep your eye on the financial markets on Friday. And what's weird about Uranus, right? It's like you think it's going to be, completely destructive, but because we have Pluto and Aquarius, things don't always turn out the way that forecasters forecast them to turn out. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if on Friday, like, there's like positive economic reports and everybody's sitting around scratching their heads going, how the fuck did this happen? Getting back to the subject of earthquakes, though, that's also, I think, a danger zone, right? Because if you want to play the game, right? Let's play the game. So there's Uranus in the astrological sky. I mean, if you wanted to go sidereal, you'd still have the same degree. You still have the same conjunction, different degrees, but you'd still have that conjunction if you wanted to go sidereal. But if you want to play the sky game, right, the sun is in Taurus, which represents the earth. So the sun is going to be reflective of its solar energy connected to the earth directly. Because I believe Taurus rules the earth. So we have literally the sun and Taurus in an exact alignment. And then the earth is sitting in between the two. I mean, this is what it would theoretically look like if you were able to see, right? You were able to see it in the sky. Now, a conjunction means that they'd be right next to each other, right? But they're not, because we know that the spatial difference is pretty vast. But the alignment between the two is a conjunction of the energies, right? So it can be here or it can be sideways, but whatever angle or direction it's at, it is in direct connection with the other, and the earth is in between the two. So I could easily see that there would be some disruptive energy this weekend that would, I mean, we've been having some interesting seismic activity. I would say keep your eye out for the moon in Aquarius, which will be in square with Uranus and the sun. So literally you would have like the moon at a 90-degree angle to the sun and Uranus, right? And that would be incredibly disruptive. So we got one lunar cycle in Sag and one lunar cycle in, we just started this lunar cycle in Sag. So that's basically 2 days. And then Capricorn is 2 days. So that's 4 days. That gets us into around Saturday. So keep your eyes on Saturday, Sunday, maybe late Friday, seismic activity. Keep your eyes on that. Okay. So we're kind of getting out ahead of it. Mercury's at 5 Taurus and stubborn stuff. We talked about, this is Kanye West's Mercury, and he's stubborn, right? So we have Mercury coming in, squaring Mars, and over here squaring Pluto. So we're back into that T-square action. Mercury taking the place, sliding into where the sun was. And boy, people just don't want to fucking back down today. Today's the double down effect. It is the double down effect. And there's nothing more entertaining, frustrating, seeing somebody knowing they're completely wrong, whether it's through their, faulty application of logic, or just wrong in the sense that, they're whatever the situation. It's usually faulty application of logic. But let's say they're irrationally backing somebody up because some sort of false loyalty or something, right? And they're not going to back down. Like, what? I got into this last night a little bit on Twitter. And Jason Whitlock was talking about black fatigue. And he's got these guys that go in there, call him a coon and Uncle Tom, whatever. And this one guy was just, I think he happened to be black, was like calling him out and saying this is bullshit. This is just all whites. And I'm like, no, dude, go onto YouTube. Go onto YouTube where there are any number of black YouTubers who are tired of, quote unquote, their own people kind of acting the fool. The latest thing, I should probably talk this on 15, but the latest thing are videos of unfortunately, mostly young black women who they're just refusing to do certain things. Like there was this one video, this gets into the money part. There's this video just popped up. There's this young black woman who went to a bank to try to cash a $50,000 check that somebody had written. And of course, like, it's not going to work. Right. And so the bank actually calls the cops. And, they're saying, look, there's somebody here perpetuating bank fraud. And they're not leaving. You got to get them out of here. And so the cop shows up, and it's this typical, what am I doing? I'm not being insulted. No, not doing anything wrong. And the cop's like, you got to, you got to get out. Not only you got to get out, you're under arrest. And it just goes on and on and on. And then she's getting on her cell phone and trying to call her mother. And these videos are popping up all over the place. And it's like fucking, bullheaded Taurus season. And there's plenty of them. And you got, black YouTube is like putting these things up and they're just, they're shaking their head. So it's not like it's just theoretical white people that are going through this. And then Jason brought up BLM, and the guy couldn't. BLM seeded I have a real problem with low-level thinkers because they can't see the thread. They can't see the cause and effect, right? And it's after BLM when they change the rules of law enforcement to be much softer on a particular group in our society. And then as a result of that, in San Francisco, you have this group that goes in and starts hauling shit out of Walgreens as long as they don't. By the way, this was Gavin Newsom who signed the law. And San Francisco had a black mayor and a black police chief officer, which they're allowing because Gavin Newsom signed the state law to basically say, go ahead. It's Christmas Day as long as you don't steal more than $965. And so I brought this up to this guy, and he said, black people didn't make those laws. I mean, this is the faulty logic. This guy's going to die in this fucking hill. And I'm like, I just got to get out of this. I got to get out of this. I cannot sit here and go back and forth with somebody who is so entrenched in justification. It's like, yeah, maybe, but there's a reason why that person did it. But does that mean that a particular group has to take advantage of it just because they did it? And this is your Mercury and Taurus, right? It was there last night. It was at 4 degrees. And I'm like, do I really want to get in that? This is a waste of fucking time. So, ladies and gentlemen, heed my words. Heed my words. Do not waste time with ignorant morons. I'm being explicit today. Do not waste time with them. They are not worth your time. However, I will say this. If there is something that you need to go to the mat for, today is that day. Well, we're going to have more of those days. So, but, you know, if you've only got a few rounds in your chamber, use them wisely. Because the next few days are all about anger and frustration, and people saying things that they're going to regret. They will regret. Don't be one of them. Do not be one of those people. Hell, even Chiron's squaring Pluto. And it's sort of like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to back down. Be careful. Be careful. If you have to throw down hard. Right, but make sure you got to. Don't waste your powder on this. Okay? Because it can get very, very ugly. And the things that are said during this transit are not going to be able to be easily resolved. There's going to be a lot of hurt feelings with this transit. Like there can be a lot of irreparable damage done. But I'll give you one other thing that could be helpful here. If you're tracking banking errors, this is your transit. If you're tracking banking errors, anything with accounting that is potentially in your favor or looks like you've been kind of ripped off, right? This is a good transit for you, a very good transit, because you'll have some fight in you with it, and you'll get to the bottom. You'll reach the manager. Okay, Venus, Mars, Moon trine. Stay enthusiastic. This is great enthusiastic energy. We got a nice little kite pattern going on here, right? Stay up. This is, to me, it's kind of a trap, right? Remember how Michelle Obama said, we rise above it. We rise. This is one of those. It's one of those days. This is one of those rise above days. Rise above it. People will always get a little ruffled when he says, well, Jesus loves you too, or God bless you, right? This is one of those days. If you can muster that up with a real sense of enthusiasm, it goes a long ways. I don't know if you want to invoke Pan, you can do it. Pan loves you. Pan loves you. That would be a Sun Uranus conjunction moment, isn't it? The great God Pan blesses you. Stay out of the weeds. Get out of them weeds. Don't even go there. All right, let's talk about our True Hemp Science star of the day. Oh, that is none other than Mr. Dennis Rodman, also known as the Worm. That was his nickname in Detroit when he played for the Bad Boy Pistons. Before we try to unpack this crazy chart and this crazy man, let's just talk about True Hemp Science, your one-stop shop for all things CBD. Makes your life go better. We got a little bottle here of Solara that I'd like to introduce you to. And there's a whole bevy of CBD products. And I'm telling you right now, I challenge anybody to find better CBD on or off the internet. It may be marginal, but our guy Chris, who was voted the #1 CBD shop in Austin, Texas. And Austin, Texas is in the top 10 of population. So that places him in the top 10 in the United States of America, if you do the math. Spend $100 more, type in 15MINS. You get the goodie bag with the gummies, the great gummies. I little gummy action on Chris's front the other day. Very nice. Nice indeed. So type in 15MINS, $150 more, get your free shipping, and you always get a 30-day money-back guarantee. TrueHempScience.com. All right. Let's talk the worm. Dennis Rodman is a complex guy with a very complex chart. Can you see it? And he's got Neptune on his midheaven. And Dennis Rodman is the epitome of a free spirit. But I think that Dennis Rodman was sexually violated when he was young, which isn't always the epitome of a free spirit, right? Like you can see his sun, it's in the 4th house, and it's squaring Pluto, right? I'm sorry, it's squaring Uranus, or Mars, squaring Mars. Right here, Mars is in Leo. Of course, Leo is the father. And Dennis has a very weird relationship with his birth father. So his birth father is around for a while, and then he leaves. And Dennis, who's born in Trenton, New Jersey, winds up being raised on a farm in Oklahoma. And there's a story where John Sally, it was All-Star break, and John Sally asked Dennis, hey, what did you do during All-Star break? You know, John Sally went partying, went to Miami or whatever. And Dennis said, oh, I went back to the ranch, because he kind of grew up on a ranch. And you know, I castrated bulls. And he was not being he wasn't being funny. I mean, that's exactly what he was doing. Right? So when you look at his son in Taurus, Dennis grew up around cattle and bulls, literally, right? And he wound up playing for what team? The Chicago Bulls. But I think he was sexually abused when he was a kid. His birth father split, right? And so you can see this also in the 1st house, because here's Saturn. It's at 29 degrees. It's like right at the end of Capricorn. And what's it doing? It's squaring Neptune. And Dennis's father moved from the United States to the Philippines. He was an army guy, Mars and Leo. He was an army guy. And Dennis has a lot of martial aspects down here as well, the 3rd house, with Venus and Vesta and Juno all in Aries. So Dennis's relationships happen very quickly, and they also end quickly. Uranus in the 7th house, Venus in Aries. Like he marries Carmen Electra, and then a week later they're divorced. I think Dennis has been married 3 times or 5. I'm not sure the number, but none of those marriages lasted more than 3 years. Like he's never going to have anybody in his life permanently. That's not Dennis's scene, right? He can't. In fact, he's not even a really good father himself. He's even modeled it. He became the Saturn-Neptune square. So one of Dennis's children that we know about is a soccer player for the U.S. women's national team, and she's really good, really, really good. And she talks about how she has no relationship with him, never had a relationship with him. I think she was raised in like Marina Del Rey or someplace like that. And she's just open, like, yeah, he may be my father, but I don't really know the guy. And that's what Dennis did. That's what Dennis's father did. You know, he's got an incredibly complex chart. I mean, this chart is really, really hard to reconcile. Jupiter and Aquarius in the 1st house. You know, he's going to be a free spirit. And he's got Mercury and Gemini. So Dennis is not dumb. He's actually pretty intelligent. The thing with Dennis is that when he was in high school, he was a scrawny kid. Wasn't very tall. He was maybe about 6'1" and about 150 pounds. And he played a little basketball, but not a lot. And then he has this weird growth spurt around 18, 19, and he goes from 6'1" to 6'8". And then he fills out and he becomes incredibly strong. And he winds up playing at a junior college. He plays for 2 years and he becomes a first-round pick of the Detroit Pistons, a late-round first pick. And so Dennis literally, like, it's almost like a chrysalis situation. All of a sudden, he just pops, and he's got this freakish athletic skill. And you can see this too, right? With this Mars-Mercury sextile. It's freakish. And he becomes one of the fiercest rebounders in the NBA. And he's on 2 championship teams. And I think he tried to be on 3 with the Lakers. Followed Phil around a little bit. You know, Phil was good. Phil was good to Dennis. But again, just an incredibly complex chart. He's got addictions. He's got that Mars-Neptune square. So he's filling your addiction, sex, drugs. And he's just unapologetically Dennis. You know, he's got that trine with Jupiter. Yeah, I mean, he'll probably die penniless, which I think could be, I don't know if it's sad. Like, there's no regret in this guy's life. There's no regret. You know, I talk about how the Grand Cross, whether it's mutable or fixed or cardinal, it's sort of like it's your master class in this lifetime. And Dennis decided to, I wouldn't say he went the left-hand path, but kind of, right? He kind of went down this path of obliteration. And then there's that weird scene so there's a pivotal time in Dennis's life. He's playing with the Pistons, and this trauma from his childhood is clearly coming up. He's got that balsamic moon in Taurus, which is not easy. Anytime you got a fixed moon in the balsamic position, letting go, not easy. And it's also involved in this T-square, right? This is a chart fraught with dynamic tension. And the story is that Dennis is in his pickup, and he's got a shotgun, and he's gonna end his life. He's with the Pistons. And somehow Chuck Daly got a hold of him. He's the coach. And he talks Dennis off the ledge. And then Dennis just like flips. He like morphs into this new character. And if you look at his progressed chart, how old is he around that time? Like, I think he's around 28 going through his Saturn return. Like, that's happening right around there because he's a late rookie. 28, 29, he's going through his Saturn return. His progressed sun goes into Gemini. He writes this book, and he shows up in drag and marries himself. Like, there are 2 Geminis who did that. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, Dennis did it as a progressed Gemini. Ricky Williams, who I'm going to be seeing on Friday night over in Wimberley, he is a Gemini. He and Dennis Rodman have some interesting parallels. Both were, Ricky is talking about being sexually abused by his father. Dennis hasn't talked about it, but I'm looking at his chart, I'm certain. But then he shows up at the debut of his book, and he is dressed as a woman, and he's marrying himself. Right? By that time, Dennis's progressed sun is in Gemini easily. It's like at the end of Gemini. So just a very, very complex character. Entertaining as hell. Struck up a weird friendship with Kim Jong-un, took a basketball team in North Korea, saw himself as some people thought he was look, I don't think Dennis Rodman is insidious enough to be a spy or, secretly work for Trump. I don't think he can do that. I think Dennis just saw himself in that Neptunian sense that he's going to be an ambassador of peace and go save the world with his friendship with Kim Jong-un. That's what I truly believe. I don't think Dennis was there to rat out the North Koreans. That's the nature of Neptune on the midheaven. Sort of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna save the world, right? Anyway, there's nobody else like him. Dennis Rodman, the worm. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for being here. I wish you all a blessed day or evening, wherever you may be, wherever you may rest your head, or wherever you may have your head on a swivel. Don't get caught in that freaking I'm going to remind you every day until we're out of this Mercury, Mars, Pluto, T-square. I will be your daily reminder, right? Use the bullets in your chamber wisely, because you don't have many, right? Just remember that. Okay. Treat each other well. Take good care of yourselves. God bless. Love you all. Robert Phoenix signing off for now. Come hang out with us over on 15 minutes. Take care. Bye for now.